Good morning. Welcome to the Teacher's Wake-Up Call. It is Monday morning, the day before the big strike. Well, the big strike. It's a 3-day strike. So let me explain to you a bit the way it's going to break down. So the Common Front, which is a collective of unions, that includes the union that I'm part of, has called a 3-day strike, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which makes for a very interesting week, and I think that was the entire point. And it's all day, it's none of these partial days. It's a full, like 3 full days. And a bit after we called, I need more coffee. I think a few days or around the same time, we called our strike. The Fédération Autonome des Enseignants called theirs, but theirs was an unlimited strike, meaning there is no end until like the contract is signed, or there's an agreement of some kind, because signing happens a bit later, but until an agreement is reached. And it would start on the 23rd. But then those unions, the unions that are part of the Fédération Autonome, said, well, we have support staff that are part of the Front Commun. So their strike actually starts also on the 21st, tomorrow. And then nurses, la Fédération des Infirmières du Québec, are going on strike as well on the 23rd and the 24th. So things are just like peachy right now for our current government, just absolutely peachy. Everybody's pissed off at them, everyone. And I mean, you honestly have to be some kind of special to do some of the things and say some of the things that they are publicly saying during press conferences, during press scrums, like what Bernard Drainville, our education minister, said on Thursday night. Now, I could have filmed a video on Friday, but I couldn't phrase it properly. But basically, because I was that pissed, I was that annoyed. But basically, he said that he's hoping that teachers and service centers, specifically teachers, will prepare work for students during this strike so they can keep up with their learning. We do understand the purpose of a strike, right? It's not to work. This is not the pandemic. This is not like, oh, here's a package for you to do like during our confinement. No. This is not it. It's a strike. You're not supposed to work. And when I heard the announcement and I was in the car stuck in traffic, I cackled, like maniacally cackled, because I'm happy I wasn't there in front of him, because I would have had a few choice words for him. And it reminded me of my own experience with something like that, where I was going on sick leave. I was going on sick leave, dealing with, mental health issues related to work. And the principal at the time sent an email the day that I announced that I wasn't coming in, and I had my medical note and everything, and he said, please prepare some work for the substitute teacher. And I knew I wasn't supposed to, but I still reached out to my union, and the delegate who spoke with me, she said, say exactly this, and was something to the effect of, as per my medical note, I am not supposed to do any work. And sent that to him while CCing my union. And playing devil's advocate, I understand, you know, to a certain degree, but read the room. Read the room, just like the principal who should have read the room and should have understood that I was going on leave because I was dealing poorly with work. Our education minister should have understood that the reason why we are going on strike is because we are overworked. So you're asking us to do more work? Yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But then, has anything he said made any sense since he became our education minister? Has he said anything that made sense? He is nonsensical. Probably brilliant in other fields, possibly, you know, replete with many wonderful ideas, but not for education. And I think we said it from the start that this man was not the best person for the job. Like, what is his background in education? So, so we're starting this 3-day strike tomorrow with a whole lot of uncertainty. Many of us are half expecting to hear another announcement saying that we're going on unlimited strike, but it wouldn't be until December, because you have to give like 7 working days, and they can only announce it at the end of the strike that we're going to be starting, at the end of the 3rd day. So we'd only know on Thursday if the strike will be prolonged. And there's a part of me that thinks it might, to be in solidarity, more coffee is needed, to be in solidarity with la Fédération Autonome des Enseignants, because it is a big chunk of teachers. It covers all the island of Montreal. It covers like the western part of the island, off island. So for those who are familiar with the area of Montreal, it covers all of Vaudreuil, Dorion, Hudson, but the French sector. And it covers certain parts of Quebec City and the eastern townships. So that's a lot of teachers. It's a lot of teachers. So it's possible that the Common Front would want to show support and solidarity, but we are hoping that the government is going to come to their senses. But right now, no one seems to be showing any open-mindedness. And for the record, the government's accusing us of the same thing. But there have been too many instances where the government has shown that they are making poor decisions, and they seem to have money to give, because why give themselves a 30% salary increase, right? And 30%, that's, I was reminded that 30% is actually on the lower range, because in the case of some M&As, when you take into account their, you know, all of their expenses that are being covered, their indemnities, you know, using the lovely government math, it actually comes to almost 40%. So they gave themselves back in June a 30 to 40% salary increase. Amazing. So why not? Why give us, you know, peanuts? Why give us the crumbs? Why? You're giving bus drivers and metro drivers $106,000. $106,000 a year to be a bus driver, to be a metro driver. Now, I could be wrong. Okay, this is just little blips that I heard. Maybe it's also like the top of the salary. It's there is a discrepancy, and I'm not trying to say one job is harder than the other, but it's about time that we recognize that teachers do challenging work, considering the circumstances, and it's not by accusing teachers of being selfish, of being ungrateful, of being stubborn, that you are going to, and when I mean you, I mean the government, not you, my internet viewers. That's not how you're going to come to an agreement. And that's what's sad. Because all their actions, the government, the spokespeople, the finance minister, the education minister, our own premier, all of their actions, all of their words do not indicate that they take us seriously and consider us the professionals that we are. I still feel that we are viewed like babysitters, because even when they're talking about the impending strike, they are talking about how they're talking about how students not going to school will prevent parents from going to work, not will delay their learning, not will affect their learning, not will create issues for students who like the regularity and will not have that regular structure that they normally deal with on a day-to-day basis when they go to school. No. They're talking about how children not going to school will prevent parents from working. Just that phrasing. I know it's a question of perception, but just that phrasing, putting more emphasis on children preventing parents from going to work, shows that schools are viewed like a daycare. Not they're going for their learning. No, they're preventing parents from working. And to me, that's telling. To me, that is huge. It shows the lack of understanding that our government has. And I've been rambling for almost 13 minutes. What can I say? I am very dissatisfied with our government and how they view not just teachers, but education in general. And it's extremely frustrating. On that lovely note, folks, have yourselves a lovely Monday.